Seductive Pain, Part 16. Int. Esquire Photo Studio, Day. Emma lies nude on a bed with her chest. A professional choreographer named writes a poem on her shoulder blade. Narrator, if sin were a kiss. All the righteous men heaven miss. Girl, you may please. Let God himself resist. And the devil dresses as a priest. I'd be the shadiest star and flash on thy lips, or the slinkiest and dim on the mist. An Esquire photographer man named Lance takes pictures of Emma. Cut to. Emma lies on the bed nude. There is a poem on her chest, breasts, belly. Narrator, let me confess. In the marriage of beautiful hearts, love isn't love if it were not. The tears and stars in our eyes, the roses, tulips, and passion on our lips. To kiss and caress down to our feet. To make love till the angels in heaven submit. And the stars and skies emit light without a limit. To cuddle and hold infinity with each heartbeat. The mixture of our souls in gorgeous sexual heat. And every time we make love as if it were the last time we would ever meet. Lance continues to photograph Emma. Cut to. Emma lies on her chest nude reading a poem. The same poem is written on her back down to her butt. Narrator, I don't know what's torturing my heart. This feeling deep inside of my emotions has kept me far above the ground. Something under my skin got me lost. To the point nowhere I can't be found. Taking me to a path that I can't turn around. However, giving the last thought to flight and fight. And not knowing what's false and true, wrong and right. Feelings deep inside of me want to kiss thee day and night. I don't want to live, I don't want to die. I don't want to laugh, I don't want to cry. I don't want to talk loud. I don't want to make a sound. Do I have to give my heart to God, pray daily? And have faith in divine providence, but be sad? Or should I sell my soul to the devil and be bad? Because I truly, unfairly, dishonestly, want neither. To keep the ache inside my heart and go mad. Nor honestly take the fever for granted. And lose the best thing I've ever had. Lance continues to take pictures of Emma. Cut to. Emma lies on her side holding a gun like Uma Thurman in Pulp Fiction, except she is nude. There is a poem on her side. Narrator, she's like a candle that burns without a wax. Her beauty is sexual and sensual. Between an angel and a femme fatale. Who kisses you softer than the air. But breaks your bones stronger than axe. He, who falls in love with her. His heart has to pay income tax. Her eyes are like two lakes. That exist in the Garden of Eden. Yet, when it's required. They burn souls with desire. Her lips are fairy tales and tell stories. About a girl, who was accused of being a liar. And once upon a time set many hearts on fire. When she is happy, all hearts are happy. When she suffers, all hearts suffer. And if the gods were to understand her. She just wants to give her beautiful heart. Make movies and fire a gun. Leave bullet holes in the hearts of Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn. And always have fun. Someone to love, someone to hold her. A soul to kiss her sweeter than the beloved sun. Cut to. Emma sits at a table writing on a poem. She is wearing a beautiful red Victoria's Secret linger. We see the words. Lance continues to photograph her. Emma, voiceover, you were about to kiss me. Because you thought I was sad. You thought I was thirsty. You thought I was mad. But there was no sign. I made no confession. I was fine. You took me to a place where your lips lure mine. Where your tongue turns the water in my mouth into wine. We were kissing, binding spell. Where stars shine above cloud 9. We made love and transcended to a place where fever burns before pride. Where passion splits ocean and tide. You and I were one. We were infinity. Where am I? All of the sudden, I were lost. And waked up in the middle of the night. The seductive beat of my heart. I daydream about you from dawn. Till the sun sets without a light. I come home, run to my bed. And touch myself in the candlelight. Without your touch. Without your kiss. Every breath I take. Every tear I shed. I wish I were crucified. And resurrected from the dead. Made to your wine and daily bread. If it complement. And give your soul passion. And the beautiful color of red. Yours Emma. Montage. Emma films The Phantom of Passion based on The Ghost and Mr. Muir starring Gene Tierney and Rex Harrison with Ryan Gosling, who plays the ghost, and Christopher Pine, who plays Miles Fairley, at the Universal Studio based on Beautiful Insanity of the Souls. On the soundtrack, Crazy Love by Maxi Priest plays. Chris is at the set watching Emma, who's conversing with Ryan, while filming. We don't hear what they are saying due to the music on the soundtrack. The director says cut. Emma walks up to Chris. They talk between soft kisses. She tells him let's get out of here. Romantic restaurant, Chris and Emma sit at a table and have seafood and glasses of red wine. They are not really eating. They have barely touched the food. As a matter fact, they are done eating. They are in the middle of conversation. But we don't hear what they are saying due to the music on the soundtrack. Emma removes her underwear and throws it at him. Bathroom, Chris and Emma make love in the bathroom. Nightclub, Chris and Emma dance in the middle of the crowd. They then kiss French for long seconds. Malibu, Chris and Emma buy a new house. They take a tour of the house. It's furnished. They come to the bedroom and look at it. There is a king-size bed. Chris picks her up and throws her on the bed. They talk between soft kisses. Then the music falls in the background. Chris, rosy lips are made for kisses. Sparkling eyes for temptation and seduction. If you think, I only adore thee for thy beauty. And find thee irresistible for sexual intention. Don't pay me no attention. Yet, don't miss intoxicating kisses, steamy caress. And tender bites diluted with pulsating endearment. That define the law of attraction. And let me give thee beautiful rhythmic contraction. Yet if thou believe in beautiful love. And deeply feel. That I am passionate about thee. Allow me to keep thy heart, darling. And let me dream of the beautiful you. As long as dreams are meant to come true. Tell me your secrets and let me adore you. As long as adoration is intended to suit your soul with soft kisses and romance. And keep your heart away from feeling blue. Thrill me, dreamboat. And let me fall deeply in love with thee. As long as love is made for me and you. Be that as it may, and yet. When a bleeding heart pitches woo. Love is said to be sweet and taboo. All I want, all I long, all I desire is you. Those eyes, those cheeks, those lips. Let me breathe, let me freeze. Let me sigh. Let me touch the sky. Those breasts, those thighs. Those hips. Let me get high. Let me never say why. 'Cause I would have never believed if the sun had told me, I would fall in love with an angel. Upon seeing your face my heart would tremble. Love with each beat would have amplified in triple. And my receptive soul would have leaped out. And escaped in great trouble. Chris gives Emma a soft kiss. With all and moreover. Dreamboat, let my lips testify. My tongue mystify. My heart satisfy. My soul gratify. The devil get by. The saints and angels versify, and Christ personify. 'Cause I'd have never believed if the moon had said. Love would take courage, and annihilate all of my fear. Upon kissing your lips. The clouds would disappear like a leap year. The stars would have rained, the heavens would open. Revealing the splendor of alluring elation. And rapture of love so clear. I can't help but get taken. By everything I see and hear. Till my heart sweats and drenches with fever. And yet my soul doth tenderly burn and sear. You then fall in my aching and blazing belly. Disguised as French kiss wrapped in a drop of tear. I get seized by beautiful emotions that I cannot fathom. As if I were kissing your lips in my dream. While we are swimming near Malibu Pier. Chris gives Emma a soft kiss. And upon making love to you. The earth would shake and wobble. Oceans and rivers would intermingle. Waves and tides in my belly would rumble. And passion would have intensified in multiple. If thy lips can tell the truth and a sweet lie. Let me taste them and defy roses that bloom and dry. And everything that's mischievous and sly. Loves in vain, live in pain, and says goodbye. Let's kiss, caress, and make love till we die. Chris gives her a soft kiss on the lips. She puts her arms around him, they kiss more intimately and begin to make love. On the soundtrack, we continue to hear Crazy Love. Beach, Chris and Emma take a walk down the shoreline. They then stand lips to lips and talk between soft kisses. We don't hear what they are saying due to Crazy Love on the soundtrack. They then kiss French in the sunset. Bedroom. Chris and Emma continue to make love. EXT film set day. Emma does her take with Pine in the park. They are having picnic. She is resting on his lap and looking at him. He is stroking her hair in romance. On the soundtrack, My Love by Route 94 featuring Jesklyn plays. We see the director, the crew, the grips and extras in the background. We don't hear what they are saying due to the music. Chris sits at a bench alone reading a novel, Tropic of Cancer by Henry Miller. Then a beautiful extra named Jessica approaches him and sits in front of him. They strike up a conversation. Emma, who just happens to be getting up from Pine's lap, looks at them. She is a little bit distracted, maybe jealous, but she plays it cool and does her lines without missing a beat. The director then says cut. Chris and Jessica continue to talk. She is kind of seducing him. Emma walks up to Chris with a bottle of wine from the set, sits on his lap, takes a sip from the bottle and introduces herself to Jessica. Emma asks Jessica humorously, "Are you trying to steal my boyfriend?" and kisses Chris French. They kiss more intimately. Jessica feels a little bit awkward, smiles softly, gets up and walks away. Emma asks Chris what Jessica wanted. He tells her she just wants to know what the book is about. Emma takes the book, Tropic of Cancer, from Chris, gets up from his lap, and asks one of the grips to give her a lighter. He gives her a gold lighter. Emma sets the book on fire and places it in front of Chris. She then removes her underwear and places it on the fire while everybody is watching. Nobody says anything. Emma then sits on the bench in front of Chris, takes out a cigarette from her pocket, lights it with the fire and shows him her vagina in seduction while smoking with style. Emma then grabs the wine and pours the wine on vagina. Chris is kind of speechless. Everybody looks at her in shock. Chris takes out the fire with his wine, carries Emma and takes her to a star wagon. Int. Emma's trailer day. Chris and Emma remove each other clothes fanatically, kiss as if it were their favorite thing to do, go down and make love on a flat pad that happened to be on the floor. It's used for exercising. Chris is on top, entering Emma sweetly. On the soundtrack, I Am an Albatross by Aaron Chapa plays. Emma then gets on top and rides Chris alluringly while singing I Am an Albatross. It's one of the freakiest things we have ever seen in cinema. Yet somehow, it's sexy as hell. Emma looks titillating. Chris lets her have him. EXT Universal Studio, Day. Emma, who plays Pussycat, is in the set of Curve filming with James McAvoy, who plays Wesley Gibson. They are having a shootout in the street of Los Angeles bending bullets and hitting bad guys. Emma and James decide to walk away. They blend with the crowd, extras, and move down the street. 6 bad guys follow them. Emma and James cross the street. A beautiful girl, wearing a short miniskirt, gives James a wink as she walks by them. James can't help himself turning around, and looks at her ass. The girl is not wearing underwear. Pussycat is not going to have a sense of humor about it. She turns around and fires her gun, bending a bullet as if she has done it 1,000 times. The bullet flies between the girl's buttocks and hits a bad guy in the penis from impossible angle. He holds his private part and falls on the ground. In the meantime, the girl feels a burn between her legs, collects her dress and touches her private part to check what it is. There is a blood on her hand. She thinks that is not PMS. The bullet must have grazed the bottom of her vaginal lips just a little bit and hit the bad guy in the dick. She will be fine. But he got it the worst. He is holding his groin and rolling on the ground in pain while screaming. Emma and James kill all of them bending their bullets and walk toward the direction of the camera. The director says cut. Emma walks up to Chris, who is standing to next the Corvette. She puts her arms around him and kisses him. They kiss French. On the soundtrack, You Make Me Feel by Cobra Starship plays. She tells him let's get out of here. Chris gets behind the wheel. Emma hops in the passenger seat. Chris starts the car. They drive away. Int. Corvette, moving, night. Chris and Emma continue to drive in the street of Los Angeles. Emma is singing You Make Me Feel. She then gets up and sits on his lap as he continues to drive. She kisses him while singing. Int. Club, night. Chris and Emma dance in the middle of the dance floor. You Make Me Feel is playing. Emma is lost within herself. She looks sensual dancing as if she were part of the air. Emma then gets inside Chris, puts her arms around his neck and kisses him with tongue. They kiss French for long seconds. It seems they are melting their lips and tongues and making pure sucrose out of their hearts. Then the DJ plays Hideaway by Kiza. Chris and Emma finally part their lips. Emma begins to dance as if she were the pulsation of the world while singing with Kiza. She knows the lyrics of the song as usual. Then when we think we see everything, the DJ plays Bad by David Guetta and Showtek featuring Vasi. Emma lets herself evanesce completely and reborns in our souls, dancing as if her heartbeat had stopped long time ago. Chris continues to be taken by her sense of animation beyond flesh and spirit and freedom. EXT Airplane, flying, day. We see airplane flying in the sky. On the soundtrack, Non, Jene Regret Rien by Edith Piaf plays. Int. Airplane day. Chris and Emma sit at first class conversing while sipping champagnes. We don't hear what they are saying due to the music on the soundtrack. Emma puts her drink aside and sits on Chris's lap. She takes his champagne and drinks everything in one breath. She threw the glass away. They talk between soft kisses and kiss intimately. EXT the set of The Talented Ms. Ripley, South France, day. We are in the set of The Talented Ms. Ripley starring Emma Stone and Carey Mulligan. We see the cast and the crew filming. Note, basically, it's a remake of Mr. Ripley in role reversal based on Beautiful Insanity of the Souls. It's set in France and follow a slightly different storyline. Emma and Carey sit at a fancy restaurant next to the sea conversing while sipping wines. We don't hear what they are saying due to Non, Jene Regret Rien on the soundtrack. Chris sit at a bench at the quietest section of the set working on his laptop. Emma looks natural. She is born to act. The director then says cut. He gives Emma and Carrie few instructions, gets behind his camera and tells them action. Emma and Carrie put the best acting performances of all time. It's a figure of speech. They do their takes without missing beats. The director says cut. He tells them to take 10 minutes coffee break. Emma walks up to Chris, sits on his lap and asks him what he is working on. He shows her. He is writing a script. She asks him what the movie is about as they talk between soft kisses. He tells her what the script is about. Yet we don't hear what they are saying due to the music on the soundtrack. She then tells him let's get out of here. Chris closes his laptop, puts it in his bag and carries Emma in front of him. Emma wraps her legs around Chris. On the soundtrack, La Mer by Charles Trenet comes. They talk between soft kisses as he takes her toward their car. Chris places Emma in the passenger seat of their rental convertible, walks around the car and gets behind the wheel. Chris starts the car. They exchange juicy kisses and drive away. EXT boat, sailing, sunset. Chris and Emma sail on the Mediterranean Sea. On the soundtrack, La Mer by Charles Trenet continues to play. They are talking between soft kisses while sipping wines. They then put their wines aside, comes to the center of the deck and dance slow. They exchange a couple of soft kisses between conversation and kiss French. On the soundtrack, J'aime moi non plus by Serge Gainsbourg and Jane Birkin plays. EXT French Villa Bedroom Day. Chris and Emma make love with J'aime moi non plus. It's one of the best love scenes we have ever seen in cinema. Chris and Emma just go for it French style. It looks real. No words can explain it. We can feel their breaths in our lungs, their pleasure in our hearts and their passion at the core of our stomach. Our spirits have already left from our fleshes and wonder, is it for real? Chris and Emma take the art of love making to the next level. We stay with them with series cuts as they continue to make love with various sexual positions. EXT Airplane, Flying, Day. We see airplane flying in the sky. On the soundtrack, music plays. Int. Music Studio Day. Emma is at a record studio with Pharrell Williams recording Somebody Is Watching Me. The chords and some of the beats are sample from Somebody Is Watching Me by Rockwell. It's sung by The Weeknd, mixed with Madonna Express Yourself, also featuring SIA. However, the lyrics is different. We take it via Emma's music video. Int. Emma's house bedroom, morning. Emma is sleeping. She then opens her eyes, gets up from the bed. She is wearing shirt and underwear. She is looking at us while singing Somebody Is Watching Me. There is a soft delicious smile on her face. It's shot in close-up in order to make us fall in love with her. She removes her shirt and underwear, off camera, come to the bathroom nude and takes a shower as she continues to sing. Cut to. Emma comes out of the shower, a towel around her breasts. She walks toward the camera looking at us. Emma comes to the bedroom, drops her towel, puts a beautiful dress without bra and underwear, grabs a tennis bag near the closet, places it on the bedroom and opens it. A gold light emits from the bag like Pulp Fiction. Emma closes the bag, grabs it and walks toward the direction of the camera. EXT Emma's convertible, moving, day. Emma drives in the coast of Pacific Ocean. We see the scenic side of the ocean crashing against the cliff. We then take it with close-up. Emma continues to sing. She looks into the rear view mirror. A black car is following her. Emma looks at the bag in the passenger seat, steps on the gas and drives faster. The black car continues to follow her. They are photographers. Emma stops her car in the middle of the street, gets out of her car, and sits on the edge of the hood while smoking cigarette with style and continues to sing. The black car pulls over. Two paparazzi get out of their vehicle and take a couple of pictures of Emma. She gives them poses and then begins to dance in a well-choreographed act. The paparazzi drop their camera and dance with her. They are professional dancers. Emma then grabs the tennis bag from the passenger seat and places it on the hood. Emma opens the bag, takes out a gold perfume bottle spray and sprinkles it in the air. Emma then walks through the thin air accessing extra dimension. EXT Sin City, Strip, Parallel Universe, Night. It's one of the most exotic places in the multiverse. It looks like a little bit like Las Vegas in grand scale. However, instead of casino, it's a sex town. We see all kinds of futuristic people walking in the street in S&M outfits in the strip. There are various sex shows right and left, including live sex, exotic dancer dancing in the glass boxes, people making out in the street, S&M, BDSM, bandage, sex slaves, etc. We have never seen anything like this. It's erotic madness. Emma walks through the crowd as if she has seen the place a million times. She is singing while looking at the direction of the camera. She then turns her eyes and looks at a lingerie and S&M shop. Emma walks into the shop. Cut to. EXT Sin City Strip Night. Emma steps out of the shop wearing S&M fishnet outfit and walks down the strip. She continues to sing. Then out of nowhere come 5 professional female dancers, who are wearing various S&M outfits and walk with her. Emma and the girls stop walking and begin to dance down with a well-choreographed act. Some people stop what they are doing and watch them in awe. Then 6 professional male, shirtless, dancers approach the girls and begin to dance with them sexually, touching the girls' breasts and private parts, etc. It's a well-scripted dance. Then our camera goes out of space. EXT space, night. We see a satellite floating in space and a beautiful view of a planet that looks like Earth. Int. Space Intelligence Agency, main room, night. It looks like NASA controlling center. A man named Seth watch Emma in multiple screens as she continues to sing and dance. There are about 20 young attractive government employees, analyzing the videos in close-up, X-ray, etc. They suspect Emma might be an alien, she is from a different planet. EXT Sin City, strip, night. Emma is walking alone through the crowd. It has a Mardi Gras-like atmosphere but it's 100 times more sexual than even Brazil Carnival Festival. We watch some girls walking nude. Emma then sees a good-looking man named Jonathan, who is playing piano in the middle of the street. A girl named Laura sits on the piano in a beautiful red dress. She is holding a black bunny. Emma looks at Jonathan. He then takes the bunny from Laura's hand, puts it on the piano, pulls Laura's legs, gets up and kisses her lips intimately. It looks like a scene from Pretty Woman, Julia Roberts and Richard Gere. Jonathan steals a look at Emma. Int. Hourglass Factory, house, day. Emma and Jonathan make love on the sand in a huge hourglass. We see 6 women tied up in S&M and BDSM inside hourglasses dancing in erotica around Emma and Jonathan's hourglass. Laura is inside another big hourglass naked dancing sensually. Yet sand is slowly falling from above and filling the glass. EXT desert, day. Then the scene mysteriously changes into desert. We find Emma singing and dancing almost nude, wearing only rope and S&M and bondage, in the desert with well-choreographic act, rolling on the sand sexually. We see snakes and Scorpios approaching Emma. Int. Hourglass Factory, night. We are back to Emma and Jonathan as they continue to make love in the sand inside their hourglasses. The 6 women tied up in S&M and BDMS continue to dance inside the hourglasses erotically. Laura continues to dance in her hourglass as well. Yet she is now tied up in BDMS. Emma gets on top of Jonathan and rides him cowgirl style. They are wearing watches. Laura's hourglass is controlled by the watches Emma and Jonathan are wearing. When they increase the pace, sands fill the glass, and slowly begins to bury Laura, who is tied up in S&M while dancing in erotica. Int. Space Intelligence Agency, main room, night. Seth continues to watch Emma in multiple screens. Some of the screens, Emma is singing in close-up. Some of the screens, she is making love to Jonathan. Some of the screens, she is tied up in S&M and BDSM, etc. Int. Laura's house, day. We see Laura dead body lying on the bed tied up with rope and BDSM naked. Her mouth is stuffed with soil and a red rose planted in it. She is branded with the word Earth. Homicide detectives, crime scene investigators and forensics are in the middle of collecting evidence. EXT Laura's house, day. It's a luxurious house. We see water fountain, swimming pool, beautiful gardens, tennis court, etc. Cops secures the area with yellow crime scene tape. A girl named Amelia, who looks exactly like Emma, comes driving a convertible, parks the car in front of the house, gets out of the vehicle and walks toward the house. She is a detective. 2 cops, who are securing the area at the door, greet her with nods as she enters the house. Int. Bedroom day. Amelia walks in, comes to the crime scene, puts on her medical gloves and examines the body. Int. Living room, day. Amelia has few words with Captain Carter. The living room looks like a palace. Jonathan appears at the entrance. He shows his badge to a cop, who is in charge of keeping the room safe, and walks in. Jonathan is FBI. Amelia looks at him. It seems she knows him. They have history together. Amelia approaches Jonathan and asks him what he is doing here. He tells her he is investigating the case. They begin to walk toward the crime scene upstairs, at the direction of the camera. Amelia, played by Emma, continues to sing. EXT Space Intelligence Agency, main room, day. Seth continues to look at Emma in multiple screens. The young attractive employees continue to analyze the videos. Int. Factory, private show, day. Emma is performing aerial silks nude while singing. It's very sensual and erotic. Then come 4 beautiful girls and 4 muscular men with long silk scarves begin to dance with Emma artistically as well as sadistically, strangulating her while touching her sexually in BDMS. Jonathan sits on a chair and watches Emma in wonder. He is carrying the black bunny on his lap, stroking his fur. Then at the entrance a beautiful model named Veronica walks in. Jonathan looks at her. She approaches him, opens his shirt, stands behind and rubs his chest suggestively as they converse, while flirting and kissing. Emma looks at them. Int. Club, night. Emma, who is wearing a dress shirt unbuttoned and red Victoria's Secret underwear, dances with a beautiful girl dressed in S&M the middle of the crowd, who are wearing all kinds of S&M outfits and BDSM, and dancing with sex slaves as if the birth of the devil. We see professional female dancers dancing in the air tied up in S&M nude. There are girls in gates that are surrounded by fire. We see girls dancing in muds. There are girls dancing in glass boxes filled with water and surrounded by flames. It's to honor the 4 classic elements. It's sexual. Emma then sees Jonathan, who is sitting at a sofa with Veronica. We see various alcoholic beverages and the black bunny on the table. Emma comes up to Jonathan, sits on his lap, kisses him French and asks him to introduce her to his new friend. Jonathan introduces Emma to Veronica. Int. Air Factory, night. Emma and Jonathan make love on a bed. We see Veronica tied up nude in the air in S&M and BDSM. There are barbed wires around her body. She's pierced various parts of her body. Her blood is dripping on Emma and Jonathan, who are making love beneath. Yet, Veronica is dancing in the air seductively while watching Emma and Jonathan having sex below. 6 professional female dancers tied up naked in S&M in the air dance around Emma and Jonathan as well. Then all of the sudden Veronica changes into Emma. She is singing and dancing nude in the air alone. There are barbed wires around her body. She is bleeding. Emma changes back to Veronica tied up in the air dancing. Emma and Jonathan continues to make love while Veronica's blooding dropping on them. The 6 girls continues to dance in the air tied up in S&M. Int. Air Factory, Zero Gravity, night. Emma and Jonathan continue to make love in the air, zero gravity. We see the blood floating in the air with Emma and Jonathan as if they are making love in space. Int. Air Factory, Bedroom night. Emma and Veronica make love in a steamy lesbian sex. Jonathan sits in a chair nude and watches them while smoking cigarette and stroking the black bunny. Int. Air Factory Bedroom, night. Emma and Jonathan continue to have sex. Veronica is tied up in the air with barbed wire above Emma and Jonathan in BDSM. Yet every time Jonathan enters Emma, a knife-like device comes out of nowhere, the thin air, and pierces Veronica's lungs as she continue to dance in seduction. Blood rains on Emma and Jonathan. It has to do with the watches they are wearing. When they pick up the pace, the knife pierces Veronica efficiently and more bloods drop on them. It looks extremely sadistic, but also feels supernatural, tantalizing and artistic. The scene changes back and forth between Emma and Veronica dancing in the air tied up in S&M alluringly. However, when Emma is in the air, Jonathan is making love to her copy. Int. Space Intelligence Agency, main room, night. Seth continues to watch Emma in multiple TV screens. The employees continues to analyze the scene, evaluating what they are watching. In one screen, Emma is making love with Jonathan. In other screens, she is dancing while tied up in the air nude, making out with Veronica in a lesbian sex, singing, etc. There is no scientific explanation of what we are looking at. Regardless, some of scene are shot in extremely close-up on Emma. It is the sole purpose of to make us fall head over heels in love with her. We can feel her passion, desire, pain, and the lust in her eyes hidden within her tears, and the pulse on her lips. Int. Veronica's house living room, day. We see the body of Veronica tied up in the air in strangulation and S&M in the middle of the living room. A rose is placed in a hole between her breasts like a vase. She is branded with the word air. Homicide detectives, crime scene investigators and forensics collect evidence. Amelia walks into the room, approaches Veronica and examines the body. At the entrance, Jonathan walks in, comes to the crime scene and looks at the body. Jonathan then tells Amelia FBI might have to take over the case. Amelia ignores him and continues to examine the body that is tied up in the air. Montage. Note, we see Amelia questioning a couple of witnesses and suspects. On the soundtrack, we continue to hear Somebody Is Watching Me by Emma featuring The Weeknd and SIA. Movie set, Amelia questions a woman named Jennifer, who might be the last person to see Veronica. Interrogation room, Amelia questions a model named Antonio. Photo session, a man named Peter takes a photo of a beautiful model named Anne. Amelia approaches him, shows him her badge and asks him few questions. Yet, we don't hear what she is saying due to the music on the soundtrack. Jennifer gives police the description of the suspect. A sketch artist draws the face of Emma. EXT water strip show, day. Emma dances exotic in the rain tied up in rope in S&M and BDSM freeing herself sexually. Jonathan stands and watches her holding an umbrella while carrying the black bunny. There are about 30 huge balloons filled with water. They seem to be floating in the air, but they are held by invisible suspension. Emma then goes down with her knees and pulls a wire. Water falls on her body. It is a little bit similar to Flashdance, Jennifer Beals' water scene. Emma continues to dance pulling one wire after another, and water crashing on her body. Then come 4 female dancers and 4 muscular male dancers in S&M and fishnet and begin to dance with Emma sexually with the finest and well-choreographic acts in the rain while water crashing on their bodies. Some of them produce ropes out of nowhere, place the ropes around Emma's neck in S&M and strangulation. She kisses the dancers French lasciviously, both the girls and men. They pull her hair, slap her face, choke her neck, etc. It is part of the act. If Madonna sees this, she would be jealous of Emma. The dancers tie Emma with ropes in BDSM. Yet, she frees herself dexterously and continues to dance with them enchantingly. Jonathan continues to watch her. Then comes a beautiful supermodel named Marta, stands behind Jonathan and touches his private part in seduction. Emma looks at Marta. Seductive Pain, Part 17. Int. Water Factory, Night. Emma and Jonathan make love in a big champagne glass that is filled with water. We see 6 girls dancing nude in water bowls that are placed around Emma and Jonathan's bowl. Yet we see Marta in a huge water glass globe that is half full with water and hanged in the air. It's held with chains and suspension and swinging above Emma and Jonathan. Marta is dancing inside the globe. Water is slowly filling the glass. Emma and Jonathan continue to make love. They are wearing the 4 classic element watches. When they pick up the pace, the water fills the glass globe that Marta is in. All of the sudden, Marta changes into Emma mysteriously. We see Emma dancing inside the glass globe nude in seduction. It then explodes in the midair. EXT Ocean, Day. Emma floats in the air and falls in the ocean nude. Int. Ocean underwater, Day. Emma swims under the water with all kinds of beautiful sea creatures, jellyfish and sharks. Emma then sees Jonathan, who is swimming under the water naked. They get closer, kiss and continue to make love under the water. Int. Water Factory, Night. We see Marta in the glass globe tied up in S&M. The water is getting full. Int. Ocean underwater, Day. Emma and Jonathan continue to make love under the water as various sea creature and sharks circle them around. Int. Water Factory, Night. Emma and Jonathan continue to make love in the glass bowl. The 6 girls continue to dance in their glass bowls sensually. Marta is swinging in her glass globe. It is filled with water. She has stopped breathing. There is blood on her nose. Int. Space Intelligence Agency, Main Room, Night. Seth continues to watch Emma with multiple screens. The employees continues to analyze the videos. Int. Marta's house, living room, Day. We see Marta's dead body inside a bathtub filled with rose petals. It's placed in the middle of the living room. She is branded with the word water on her chest. Homicide detectives and forensics collect evidence. Amelia examines Marta's dead body. Jonathan walks in, comes to the crime scene and looks at the corpse. He tells Amelia he wants to talk to her in private. She has always been attracted to him. Amelia and Jonathan leave the room and come to the kitchen. They kiss passionately. He picks her up and places her on the kitchen table. They kiss more intimately. Jonathan then slowly removes her underwear and throws it away. He removes all of his clothes, gets between her legs. They kiss French. Jonathan grabs her butt, picks her up, squeezes her buttocks and enters her as they begin to have sex. EXT Fashion Show, Night. Female models walk on a catwalk set on flame accompanied by various types of fire acts, including a muscular man spitting fire out of his mouth in close-up, another muscular man spinning 2 sticks set on fire, 3 girls dancing while holding fire torches dangerously, etc. Then Emma comes out of the backstage wearing a dress set on flame and does poses as she continue to sing. Jonathan sits at the VIP, front row, and watches her. He is carrying the bunny on his lap. Emma then takes the center stage dances with 4 females and 4 male professional dancers. Jonathan continues to watch her. He then turns his eyes and looks at a beautiful supermodel named Sophia, who is checking him out across the catwalk. Emma looks at her as well, and continues to dance with well-scripted fire act. Sophia then gets up, walks around the catwalk, comes to Jonathan, sits on his lap and kisses him on the lips. They kiss softly. Emma watches them. Sophia then parts her lips and gives Emma a wink. Int. Cathedral, Night. Emma and Jonathan make love on a matters that is placed in the middle of the church surrounded by hundreds of candlelight and rose petals. The church has no seats. We see the sculpture of Jesus Christ crucified on a cross at the chapel. Sophia is tied up in a unique pole upside down nude in S&M. There is fire around her. She slowly frees herself and begins to dance exotically in striptease. Emma and Jonathan continue to make love in round candlelight. Emma gets on top and rides Jonathan seductively. They are wearing the classic 4-element watches. When they pick up the pace, fire exits from the pole and various other places, including pipes that are placed around the pole, and slowly burns Sophia, who continues to dance exotic. Yet she doesn't feel the burn. Then Sophia changed to Emma mysteriously. Emma dances exotic tied up with a rope and S&M erotically. She is doing one of the best strip teases we have ever seen in cinema. Jonathan lies on matted nude with the black bunny leaning. He is watching Emma stripping, while stroking the bunny. Emma continues to dance exotic. She just lets us have her. Int. Space Intelligence Agency, main room, night. Seth continues to watch Emma with multiple screens. ext/int. Church 2, night. We find Emma in a different church that has no roof. She is dancing in round fire and candlelight in front of the statue of Jesus Christ on the cross. Then the statue of Jesus Christ turns into Jonathan set on fire. Emma continues to dance with passion, sensuality, love, erotica, and pain. We see lightning, thunderstorm and clouds of fire in the sky. It's visually stunning. Int. Cathedral, night. Emma and Jonathan continue to make love in round candlelight. Sophia continues to dance exotically tied up in S&M and BDSM. Yet when Emma and Jonathan pick up the pace, Sophia's body catches on fire. However, she doesn't feel the burn for some unknown reason. She continues to dance as if nothing is happening to her. Emma and Jonathan reach climax. Int. Cathedral, day. We see body of Sophia lying at the chapel nude in round candlelight. Her gut cavity is burnt to ashes. There is a rose inside her belly. She is branded with a word fire on her chest. FBI, homicide detectives, crime scene investigators and forensics are collecting evidence. EXT Cathedral, day. Amelia comes driving her convertible, parks her car in front of the cathedral, gets out her vehicle and walks into the church. Int. Cathedral, day. Amelia comes to the crime scene and examines the body. Note, in alternative crime scene, we might see only the ashes of Sophia. There is a red rose on the ashes. Photographs of Emma can be seen throughout the church. Amelia grabs one of the photos of Emma and looks at it. EXT Beach, day. Emma and Jonathan kiss on the shoreline while ocean waves crash on them. It seems Emma faked her own death. Jonathan is her accomplice. Int. Space Intelligence Agency, main room, day. Seth continues to watch Emma and Jonathan in multiple screens as they continue to kiss in the beach. We see the black bunny nearby. EXT Beach, day. Emma and Jonathan continue to kiss more intimately. We take it in close-up, and then pull out gradually with overhead shot. The end. EXT/int. Interview magazine photo shoot day. Emma does various poses in S&M and BDSM as photographers take her picture in serious cuts to advertise the music video, consisting of the 4-element, air, earth, water, and fire. Insert, interview magazine Emma's photos. We see the end result of Emma's photos one by one. She is on the cover of the magazine. There are about 300 photos, maybe more. But we only see about 50 of them. Yet, if it's convenient, we might see all of them in fast forward. Interview magazine dedicates the entire page for Emma. Int. Los Angeles Museum, day. Chris and Emma visit a couple of beautiful paintings and sculptures at the Museum of Los Angeles. On the soundtrack, music plays. They are conversing, but we don't hear what they are saying due to the music on the soundtrack. They then stand lips to lips, talk between soft kisses and kiss intimately for long seconds. They then part their lips and continue to visit a couple of interesting paintings. Note, we look at the paintings with series cuts. EXT Park, day. Chris and Emma take a walk in the park. The music on the soundtrack falls in the background. Emma, I didn't feel anything. Chris, what do you mean? Emma, the art. Chris, what about it? Emma, they didn't move me. Chris, they are not supposed to move you. People go to museum to spend quality time. Emma, every time I go to a museum, I am always looking for the exit sign. I mean there are breathtaking paintings but I wouldn't take them to my house and hang them on the wall even they gave me for free. Does that mean there is something wrong with me? Chris, no. Things have changed. Paintings were designed to capture beauty in their natural form and somehow lift human spirit. Then came television, photos, films, video game, music video, and computer changed how we see art. We are bone dry generation. We are desirous of everything. A Miley Cyrus state of mind. All that's in your face: love, romance, explosion, and sex in XXX. If we find a painting by Picasso worth $125 million on our doorstep, at the same time, happen to see Kristen Stewart walking down the street, we'd step on the painting, run toward her and ask for an autograph. Emma, humorously, have you asked Kristen for an autograph? Chris, I have never asked anybody for an autograph. It was an example. But once Al Pacino gave me his autograph at a coffee shop and lost it the same day. Emma, what do you mean lost it? Chris, it was long time ago when I came to Los Angeles. I didn't ask him for autograph. I asked him for an email address, so I could send him one of my screenplays. Maybe he did not heard me clearly. He just signed his autograph on my notebook. You know, I didn't feel like bothering him. A little bit pride came to my conscience. I just walked away. The same day, I left the notebook at the coffee shop, along with a couple of film plots. Emma, that's sad. Chris, it's nothing. I had already memorized them. Emma, humorously, you memorized his autograph? Chris, no, the movie plots. Emma, I am fucking with you. Chris, I know. They exchange soft juicy kisses. Emma, you love art, don't you? Chris, more than life itself. Emma, you make me feel bad. Chris, I am kidding. You can convince yourself to appreciate anything. Emma, I can't convince myself to appreciate something I don't like. You know, I love movies. I get emotional so easily. Any sad story brings tears to my eyes. I watched Titanic. I was crying from the beginning to end, despite the fact I was watching it for the third times. I knew Jack Dawson was going to die. But every word he said brought tear to my eyes. I was freezing for some unknown reason. I still feel the shivering as if I were myself in the ice water with Jack, and at the same time, trying to keep myself warm with that steamy love scene in the car. I've gone to a couple of museums since I was a little girl, but I had never cried. I left the museums with empty feelings. Chris, perhaps 400 years from now, they will have virtual reality movies where the audiences are part of the motion picture. They interact with the actors. They hold their hands, converse with them, even make love to them in advance virtual reality images and experience the emotional heights. They will manipulate the actors, create characters, do whatever they desire and be the stars of their virtual reality movies. Someone like you in the future says film doesn't move me. Emma, that sounds depressing. I don't want to be forgotten. Chris, I don't mean it like that. I will make sure I write you movies that stays people's mind forever. They will not forget you for millions year. You look at Shakespeare's play, Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, Macbeth, and sonnets. Shall I compare thee to a summer day and most of his works? They were written almost half-century ago. They are timeless. They are still making big impact in cinema and theater. They stand lips to lips. Emma, anyway, I am sorry that day Andrew has to masturbate in front of us. Chris, don't sweat it. It's nothing. Humorously, one time, I was masturbating while watching you in Zombieland. I got it in VHS format. It has both DVD and VHS player. The DVD player was broken. I just went with the flow. I then stopped in the middle and asked myself, what if my girlfriend catch me? It's a bad idea. The voice inside my head assured me I was not going to get caught. I was about to go back to masturbating, but couldn't find my penis. Where did the motherfucker disappear? I was saying, this is embarrassing. How can something important like that disappear from my body? I looked everywhere and then saw it fucking VHS player by itself. You were standing with a chainsaw. Your hair looked messy as if you were caught in electricity. Emma smiles in beauty and hit him playfully. Emma, you are an asshole. They exchange soft kisses. They resume walking. Emma, I didn't use chainsaw in the Zombieland. Chris, are you sure? Emma, I did the movie. I would have remembered if I used any chainsaw. Chris, I thought I saw a chainsaw. Emma, it is on the poster. But I didn't use it in the movie. Chris, why would you have a chainsaw in the poster if you are not going to use it in the movie? Emma, that was the same question I asked. Chris, what did they say? Emma, humorously, I look sexy with chainsaw. Chris, you can't argue with that. But they might have to make you a new poster with bullets around your body, wearing a dress shirt tied just above your belly button and Daisy Duke, and holding 44 Magnum, only you. Emma, you never really watched Zombieland, did you? Chris, I watched the highlight here and there. You know, I don't usually like to watch zombie movies. Why would anybody want to watch bunch of ugly creatures moving in slow motion to eat your brain? Instead, why not Maxim 100 the most beautiful girls in the world and beautiful college girls run at you naked to have sex with you. They then have sexual intercourse with you, eat your heart and kill you. I know Brad Pitt World War Z make a lot of money even though it cost almost $200 millions. If they gave me that money, I would probably create heaven on earth and make love to the angels. Perhaps, I add a little bit Madonna justify my love and make it erotic. Emma, humorously, would you have sex with Maxim's 100 the most beautiful women in the world in one day if they give you a new sex drug that allows you to keep you going for hours? Chris, joking, I will give it a shot. Emma, you are a freak. Emma sits on top of a bench. Chris stands between her legs. Chris, I am kidding. But I'd have created the future with everything in it and make love to you in the Garden of Heartbeats day and night. They exchange soft kisses. Emma, it's weird. I had Dear Future Husband by Meghan Trainor stuck in my head almost for 3 months when it came out. Have you listened to it? Chris, I might have seen it on MTV. Emma, I used to wake up in the morning singing Dear Future Husband. I wasn't planning on married anyone. It would interfere with my career. You know, I don't mind marrying you in a heartbeat. But I don't want to ruin what we have now. I want to see where it's going to lead. Chris, I can write you a romantic comedy titled Dear Future Husband. Emma, I swear I was about to say that. You took it right out of my mouth. You know, Dear Future Husband sounds like a film title starring Matthew McConaughey and Kate Hudson, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, or with Sarah Jessica Parker, Failure to Launch, and Jennifer Lopez in The Wedding Planner. He also did a romantic comedy with Jennifer Garner, Ghost of Girlfriend Past, which I had a cameo. Chris, let me see what I can come up with. They sit at a bench face to face. Chris, you play a girl named Amelia, who is looking for a husband. She dates here and there. Every time she thinks she finds her soulmate, they turn up to be jerks. She keeps finding fault. It's like when she makes love with a man, who she thought, is 10, he comes in 11 seconds like Leonardo in Wolf of Wall Street. Amelia then dumps him and dates a man, Edward. He is a musician, he seems romantic. She then finds out he has 2 daughters in Johannesburg, 2 sons in Moscow, 4 in Okinawa. It's a joke. She hits him. Emma, I am serious. I want to do comedy. Chris, we will keep the number down. You know, instead he just has 2 daughters in Boston. Amelia live in New York City. He borrows your car to see them. Edward is in the middle of working on a new album. Amelia works at a major fashion magazine, Vanity Fair, as a columnist. Accidentally in purpose you are working on article under Dear Future Husband. Edward sings her all kinds of beautiful songs. She doesn't have the heart to leave him even though she has to take a taxi to go to work. Emma, humorously, he then brought one of his daughter to live with us. She is 14. She has a hot on for him. I dumped him. Chris, this is a romantic comedy. Let's keep it PG-13. Emma, what about he's a 14 years old son? Never mind. I don't want to fuck a 14 years old kid. I was going to say what if she falls in love with his son. But I don't want to go there. You know, it makes a nice fucked up indie drama. A girl married a man. She then finds out he has a 16 years old son, whom he is not aware of till the last minute. He welcomes him. But he then involves in passionate sexual relationship with his stepmother. Just like that you got your indie. Chris, that's not a bad story. Emma, I wouldn't do it. But I can imagine Ty Sheridan and Scarlett Johansson in the lead roles. Chris, humorously, Ryan Gosling plays his father. Emma, that's fine with me. Chris, you still have to have a twist. Emma, they fall in love and run away together. Chris, that's not a twist. Emma, I am not a writer. Chris, you came up with the story. Emma, I was just fucking with you. Chris, suppose Ryan finds out they run away together. They took all his saving. Ryan is a drug dealer. He sells meth. Not only did his son fuck his wife, and they took all his money and drugs, but they also took his red Corvette. He's not going to have sense of humor about it. He is going to hunt them like Anton Chigurh in No Country Old Man and kill them. But let's get to the heart of the story. Ryan might have to put a fake mustache and fake teeth to make him look like nomadic. He is supposed to be in his late 30s in the film. Exercise has kept him young. He looks like Ty's older brother. Scarlett and Ty have to run throughout the states. Ryan could even be Anton Chigurh's cousin in No Country for Old Men. The film gives you that kind of vibe. You get the chilly down by your spine. Emma, I don't really like No Country for Old Men. But I can see Ryan Gosling playing a psychopath, who hunts for his son, who is having an affair with his wife, or his wife, who fucked his son, and wins Oscar. Chris, he is on top of his game. The truth is Anton Chigurh has nothing on Ryan Gosling in this film. He terrorizes Scarlett and Ty while killing innocent people in his way. He tells them he has number in his head 1 to 5. He gives them one chance. If they get it wrong, he will shoot them in the head. There is a realistic car chase. Ryan almost drives them off a cliff. They exchange fire here and there. Ty and Scarlett escape in a dramatic fashion. Later, Ryan catches up with Scarlett and Ty. He finds them making love. This audio file was created by Panopreater Basic. You can download it at www.panopreater.com. He ties them up and tortures them sadistically. Ryan then threatens Ty he is going to slit Scarlett's throat if he doesn't give him the money. Ty gives him the money. Ryan stabs Scarlett in the heart and kills her. In rage, Ty fights his father and stabs him in the stomach multiple times. Ryan dies from excessive blood loss. Ty grieves over Scarlett's dead body. The police comes to the building. Ty takes the money and flees the scene. In the end, we find out he is telling you his story. You play a writer. You are not sure if Scarlett is dead or alive. She might have survived the stabbing. He might have missed her heart by few inches. Maybe she just survived miraculously. That is the twist. It's title Rogue Blood. Emma, you can't let her go. Chris, who? Emma, Scarlett Johansson. Chris, you brought her. I mean, it's only a film. It doesn't make a difference if she lives or dies. I thought it might serve as an alternative ending. We will cut it out if it's inconvenient. You know, I was going to borrow an idea from this film she did with Ewan McGregor, The Island, directed by Michael Bay. I have always thought that movie is ahead of its time, even though some critics crucified it upside down like St. Peter. Someday it will become a cult classic. In the movie, the bad guys clone adult human in the lab, take their organs and give them to patients. However, instead of incubating human direct to adulthood, suppose you grow it from embryo. That clones has childhood. However, the babies grow faster than dogs, cats, and insects. Depend on the patients. If a patient has a bad heart, and he or she needs a heart transplant within 6 months, they might want to speed it up by splicing it with some kind of insect gene. Insects have a short lifespan. Next time if you kill an insect by accident, don't feel too bad about it. You still attend Nirvana. But keep your finger crossed, you don't want to return as a fly. That is beside the point. The audience do not have to know any of that. You just make up a lie and hope they buy it. They could just say, they speed it up by turning on some gene nobody has ever heard of it. When they reach certain age, they inject them with a serum called SMP, slow maturing process, which slow down the aging process. The clones take a normal course of life. They are actual kept in island. They are told this is the only world that ever exists since they were kids. Everything is a setup. They allow them to move around here and there. The clones are free. But there are surveillance camera everywhere, watching them 24/7 inside as well as outside. Yet people are always missing. They kidnap them in the middle of the night, drug them and take their organs. Then they get rid of their bodies. Nobody know what is going on. Yet the protagonists Isabel and Jacob find out the truth. They try to escape from the island. Wait a second. Let's go back a little bit. Island might be a bad idea. Instead, they are kept a fictional town called Michaelville somewhere in South Florida after Michael Bay. It's easier to escape on land. It promises us a lot of action. Yet, they can't stay outside for long. They need SMP injection to prevent them from getting old prematurely. I will build the story around it when I get free time. You know, you might want to play Isabel, who escapes from the town with Jacob. Isabel and Jacob wander around in the city of Miami and discover the world is bigger than they are allowed to believe. They see skyscrapers, churches, and various things. It doesn't take them for long to question how they are created. In the meantime, the corporation AHCE, Advanced Human Cloning Enterprise, ran by Edward Norton, hire mercenaries to take them out. Isabel and Jacob might run into a group of people, who are against cloning. Suppose they watch them on the television protesting by accident. Isabel and Jacob contact the leader Tori, played by Rooney Mara. She tries to help them as well as expose the corporation. It's a $1 trillion business. They built a community for the sole purpose of harvesting human organs. They are running it underground. Yet there is a conspiracy. They kill Tori and every person who know about the corporation. The government is part of the scheme. Isabel and Jacob continue to run away from the bad guys. They have no one to tell their stories. They cannot trust anybody. People who know about the clones are killed right and left. Edward and bloodthirsty mercenaries led by Jason are looking for them with satellites, camera surveillances, and all kinds of advanced electronic devices. There will be a couple of wild shootouts here and there. Isabel and Jacob might kill a lot of bad guys. It's an action film, depends on the flow. They are not going to play victims. You know, their brains can pick up things quickly. If they watch a martial art film, they would get it right away in a blink of an eye. Nevertheless, Isabel and Jacob pick the bad guys apart with guns and a couple of deadly martial arts. Humorously, Sick Kung Fu, Taekwondo, Jeet Kune Do and others in 3D. We might see brains splattering, bones breaking like bad karma and blood flowing like rivers in the reminiscence of Kill Bill Volume 1 if it's absolutely necessary. Meanwhile, Isabel and Jacob might have to go back to the village. They need SMP to slow down the aging process and inject it into their system. Some might say if SMP really exists, why not people just get that and stop worry about organ donation altogether? That's cool. You can always tell a lie. Or you don't bring that question to the audience. But if it's crucial to the story, you might have to give them some kind of explanation. Let's say SMP causes some sort of cancer. Some people still say who gives a fuck about cancer. You know, people smoke cigarette knowing it causes cancer. They just want to remain youth and look gorgeous. Is that a sin? They don't give a fuck about cancer as long as it slows down the aging process. Clarence says in True Romance, live fast, die young, leave a good-looking corpse. However, they don't want really die in a heartbeat. That's your ticket. It's toxic. Only the clones are immune to it. For example, if a regular person injects it into his or her system, they die within 3 hours. Nonetheless, Isabel and Jacob need SMD. They look through the internet and finds where they keep SMD. It's downtown Miami. It's headquarter of AHCE. It's highly guarded skyscraper. Even though Isabel and Jacob are kept in the village, they are extremely intelligent. They dexterously infiltrate the highly guarded building which has heat sensor, laser security, temperature dictator, and others. They pass all securities like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible and steal the SMP from the main room. They inject it in their system and make passionate love 7 days straight. They know soon or later they would run out of SMP. There is injustice against the clones, and the mercenaries are looking for them. Isabel and Jacob cannot continue on to live in fear. It's time to turn the table around and kill the bad guys. They are watching Matrix starring Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss. They go back to the corporation and takes out the entire town. They kill the bad guys. They kill Jason. They kill Edward and free the clones. They were thinking about getting more SMD that would last them for lifetime. However, a clone named Trent has designed a serum called KIR, Keep It Real, that reverses the effect. All they have to do is inject it into their systems one time. They are set for life. We don't see Isabel and Jacob inject themselves with KIR like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. But we find them kissing French in Miami Beach. The end. Emma, that's an interesting story. May I make a suggestion? Chris, be my guest. They exchange soft kisses. Emma, you should keep them in the island. They are isolated from the rest of the world. They can walk around free like tourists. Chris, how are they going to escape if it's island? It's highly secured area. If they swim, shark might eat them. They will shoot and kill them from helicopter. Emma, you can always focus on their relationship in the island set somewhere in the Pacific. I like how they are watching them 24/7. You might want to turn it into erotic movie. Suppose Edward Norton is a pervert. He is a little bit sick in the head. He likes to watch Isabel and Jacob and other clones having sex like William Baldwin in Sliver starring Sharon Stone. But it's in the big scale. Basically, it's pornography. The movie should be about how they can escape from the island. Isabel and Jacob figure it out in the middle. They then bring it down within the island. Chris, that's not a bad idea. I was thinking about all Michael Bay films. You know, if he is going to spend $150 million, you might as well build a community with colleges, hospital, supermarkets, banks, and others. It's a real town. Yet everything is a lie. They just want their organs. Then Isabel and Jacob find out what's happening. You then get your full-scale explosion. Non-stop action under the circumstances and all-out havoc mayhem. I think Michael Bay has nothing on me if I want to make the greatest action movie ever made. That's why I want to avoid island. I just put the whole thing just now as I went. Actually, it's based on the island. I just change few things here and there. There are a lot of plot holes. I might keep them in an isolated island like you said. But the island is located near Miami or Los Angeles. We make 2 separate movies. One is based on what I told you. Another is based on what you told me. Regardless, Isabel and Jacob escape from the island with a motorboat while the bad guys are shooting at them from helicopters. They just got lucky. It follows the same anecdote I told you. The only different is the ending. Isabel and Jacob return to the island with motorboats and kill all the bad guys. It's non-stop action. But your stories sound realistic. Once we get the money from the first film, we can do whatever we want to do with the latter. Emma, I knew it. You created the story to trick me. That means you are not over Scarlett. Chris, I am done with her. They exchange soft kisses. Emma, can you say I am done with that prostitute? They exchange soft kisses. Chris, I am done with that prostitute. They kiss intimately. Emma, anyway, have you seen Never Let Me Go? It's about organ donation without explosion. Chris, I never saw it. But I heard about it. Starring Carrie, Andrew, and Keira Knightley. I thought it was stupid. I'm not going to sit and watch them take organs from my body while I am still alive. I would have gone Jason Bourne on their ass. I swear to God, if they touch a single cell in my body, there is no measure how fast and how hard I would bring to their doorsteps. I am on my own side. Maybe that's Matt Damon. However, they might have some kind of guards to keep eyes on me. I would still kill all of them and escape. There is nothing God or the devil can do about it when I unleash lake of fire and brimstone on those, who try to outguess me. Perhaps, it's instinct talking. The fact is if you are brought to donate organs since you were kid, you have no choice but to accept your fate. But is that true? Life is coded with rebel soul. Some points of your life, you will stand up for your right. You will rebel against your fate. I saw the trailer. It's not like they are kept in some kind of confinement. Why didn't they run? You know, it makes no sense. They were driving car and all. Why not just drive away and leave the country? Emma, that was the same question I asked. But they say it's complicated. Maybe they should hire Pussycat. I would have buried bullet between their eyes, drink their blood instead of milk, set the place on fire and free all of them. I would have taken it straight to the system. Emma is a little bit in character. Chris, that's what I am talking about. They kiss French. Emma, I love rogue blood. I don't really care if you kill Scarlett or not. It's a good story. Chris, I thought I could end the film with high spirit. In fact, Scarlett is played by Imogen Poots to keep Black Widow out of it. When everybody thinks she's dead, she's in the car waiting for him. You're not really in the film either. You get the main roles in my movies. Instead, Imogen is the star of Rogue Blood. Ty leaves a bank and gets in the car. Imogen is in the car with their 3-month daughter. He just bought a bar. He sings and plays guitar. He gives Imogen the tour of the bar. They have dinner at the empty bar in the candlelight. He gets up in the middle and sings Photographs by Ed Sheeran for her. They then dance slow with I See Fire and kiss intimately. The end. Emma, I can't believe you turned that into a movie. Chris, it's kind of your story. I have nothing to do with it. Emma, really? Chris, you said Amelia met a man. She finds out the man has a son. She falls in love with his son. That's basically the movie. I just added details. Emma, it is romantic. Seductive Pain Part 18. Chris, I was going to end the movie when they dance slow with Give Me Love by Ed Sheeran instead of I See Fire. I then felt I should preserved it for you. Emma, that is a thought of you. But I will trade it with Photographs. Chris, sure. We'll replace it with something sentimental. Yet we might hear all kinds of romantic songs throughout the film. There are going to be a couple of steamy love scenes. It's also to balance Ryan's psychotic behavior. He is going to go in a killing rampage. I heard he is a psychopathic. He cut his mother's, Kristen Scott Thomas, abdomen and put his hand in her belly to see what is in her uterus and only God forgive. They say it was his idea. It wasn't in the script. You have to take advantage in that psychopathic behavior, and make something crazy. You know, in order to match that level of madness. Ryan has sex with various women, cuts their abdomens, remove their kidneys and eat them raw as he continues to hunt Imogen and Ty. Emma, it doesn't get any better than that. Chris, we might want to give the film few dimensions as well. You know, add a cop named Julie who is investigating the murders and few interesting characters. I'll think something diabolical as well as provocative if you want to work on it. You know, you might want to play a cop named Amelia who investigates murders committed by Ryan like Frances McDormand in Fargo. But you are not pregnant or maybe US Marshal like Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive and win Oscar. The last part is a joke. Emma, I'll play Julie. Just write it down. But let's go back to Dear Future Husband. You were talking about Edward before I interrupted you. Chris, you gave me an interesting idea. Chris and Emma exchange soft kisses. Chris, anyhow, Edward is caught up with recording album and his 2 daughters and ex-wife Marta, custody battle in the courtroom, and pays no attention to Amelia. He comes home and works on the music. If he is not working on his album, he is talking to his daughters on his cell phone and computer for hours, reading them story online. They are 8 and 5. They are begging him to return home. Then one day, his young daughter tells Amelia how could she do that to them? Comes between her father and mother. Amelia was looking for an excuse. That just might do it. She dumps Edward. He knew it was coming. He lets her go. Third is Zach. He seems perfect. He works at the New York Times. He gives Amelia the best orgasm. He takes her to romantic restaurants. Breakfast on bed and all. He is good to be true. Amelia says he is the one. Her topic is also deals with, why do women wait for guys to propose to them? She discusses it with her friends Monica and Nicole. Monica says it is because guys can take rejection like Rocky Balboa takes punches. Girls will be crying for weeks. Monica admits she will never recover if she asks a guy to marry her and he says no. After that, she will become a nun. Nicole is different. She says if they say no, fuck them. We have to adapt to the stereotype whatever it is. Time is changing. It's 20 fucking 1 century. Everywhere you turn around, people are standing up for what they believe in. So what if a man says no? It's not the end of the fucking world. At least, you feel real about it. You did something no woman had ever done in her life. That's empowering. Emma, I like Nicole. Chris, Nicole is like Mila Kunis. She says whatever come to her mind. She doesn't really believe men and women are created equal. She says that doesn't prove anything. Men treats us like we are not equal if we say we are equal to them. We have to think we are better than them. Then they see us as equal. We can leave with that. But Amelia doesn't have the nerve to do it. How brave she is not going to propose to a man. Even to Jesus Christ. It's not the rejection or the empowerment that keeps her at bay. But she thinks it doesn't feel natural. That's not even it. There is something in her heart that is troubling her. She doesn't know what it's. Nevertheless, Zach is beginning to change her mind. She says what she has to lose. If he says no, she will feel empowerment and move on. Amelia practices how to proposing to Zach looking at herself in the mirror without the ring like Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver, "You're talking to me." She says now it's time to try it with the ring. It's a 25-carat diamond ring. She has placed in her study room drawer. She opens it. The diamond ring is gone. Emma, who took it? Chris, Zach is a thief. Emma smiles big. Emma, you are an asshole. Chris, he has been stealing from Amelia a lot of things. Money, jewelries and artifacts and lying about everything. He is not even a real journalist. His Christian name is Vincent. He is a mailman doing internship at the New York Times. He is sort of personal assist to real Zach who is in Paris working on a story about fashion industry scandal. Emma, what scandal is that? Chris, I don't know. We can fabricate a fake scandal. You know, how girls come to Paris from Eastern Europe and other countries lured by modeling and fashion industry and tricked to work as escort service by highly organized criminal syndicates and mobs. But that doesn't fit here. This is a romantic comedy. We are trying to make the audiences forget their problems, not to add another crisis to whatever is bothering them. Instead he was in Paris interviewing Kate Moss for the cover of the first ever The New York Times fashion issue, equivalent of Vanity Fair and Vogue. Emma, did you just come up with that? The first ever The New York Times fashion issue? Chris, something like that. Emma, that's money. Chris, maybe. I just want the audiences to relax. You know, after they watch the film, they leave the theater with smiles on their eyes. If it were action movie, we might have gone with the mobs and stopped the bad guys. Emma, I feel you. Chris, anyway, Vincent took his identity, borrowed his office and wooed Amelia. Everything he told her is a lie. On the soundtrack, we hear Lips Are Movin' by Meghan Trainor. She confronts him after she sees him breaking a vase. The Knicks lost at the buzzer versus Miami Heat. He pawned the ring and bet on the game. He has a little bit gambling problem. He admits for all the thieveries. He tells her his real name is Vincent. Amelia forgives him. But she has to dump him. He is a liar and a thief. Later, Amelia sits at a club and has a glass of scotch. She doesn't really want to speak to anyone. A couple of guys try to talk to her. She tells them she is not in the mood for talking. She doesn't want to be bothered. While she is contemplating she is going to spend the rest of her life alone, then comes the real Zach and sits at her table. He asks her what's bothering her. It's a little bit like Out of Sight with George Clooney and Jennifer Lopez at the bar. Zach melts Amelia's heart. She has seen him at journalist convention in Rockefeller Center at the beginning of the film. She had even Googled him. She saw his last name on a tag. She didn't have no luck finding him online, because he switched it with his friend Roger. Actually, his friend switched it with Zach. Roger's last name is Usman. Amelia smile big. Emma, that's just classic. Chris, it's written Usman. But it sounds like Assman. I must have heard it in the David Letterman show. Or maybe Humperdinck like Prince Humperdinck in The Princess of Bride. It sound funny. But let's just stick with Usman. Roger begs Zach to give him his name tag in order to talk to a reporter named Maya. Zach just gave him his name tag. He tells Amelia the story. She finds it humorous and tells him jokingly she isn't ready to be called Mrs. Assman. They go to blues bar, dance slow. They then go to a karaoke bar and sings few songs. Amelia sings On and On by Erykah Badu. They take a walk in a bridge conversing. They then kiss and make love at his apartment. In the morning, Zach takes her picture while she is pretending to be sleeping as we hear Photographs by Ed Sheeran on the soundtrack. They talk between soft kisses and make love. They have breakfast in bathtub. He continues to photograph her as we continue to hear Photograph on the soundtrack. They visit a couple of interesting places, take a walk in Central Park, have lunch at a romantic New York City restaurant, shop at Radio City Music Hall. Amelia sings a song just having fun. They stand in observation deck at Empire State Building and look at the spellbinding view of New York City as the sun sets and kiss French. They watch show at the Broadway, make love at her apartment, visit the Museum of the Moving Image, and other things as he continues to take her picture as if she is the only person in the world. Zach then tries to convince her to appear on the cover of the New York Times magazines. He tells her she is a star. Amelia thinks he is joking. She agrees to appear on the cover and conduct a fake interview humorously as they continue to have the time of their lives. She knows he is the chosen one. The Messiah who is walking on the blood on her heart. The light of the world whom she has been waiting for all her life. She buys a gold ring to make it a little bit authentic. She just can't imagine Zach with a 25 diamond carat ring. Maybe she does. Something about him makes her feel he is created out of her breath. She is also attracted to his mannish manner and masculinity. Or perhaps she doesn't want to take a chance. Maybe she does. She is doing something no girl has ever done in her life. She is writing that on her article. Instead, Amelia purchases a new gold and diamond ring made for man. Later, Amelia goes down with one knee and asks him to marry her at One World Trade Center 101's floor. He says yes. She puts the rings on his finger. They kiss French. The waiter pops up champagne. Her friend Nicole is behind everything. Nicole sings Dear Future Husband by Meghan Trainor. Amelia and Zach dance slow. They kiss and make love all night. Later, Zach finds out Amelia is using him to write the article. He sees the story Dear Future Husband in Vanity Fair. He felt played. But it's not 100% true. Amelia is head over heels in love with Zach. She tells him if he wants to call the wedding off it is up to him. Nothing is going to change the feeling she has for him. He is her dear future husband. He just kisses her lips till he's out of breath. They make love. Later, they get married. Meghan Trainor sings Like I Am Gone Lose You. Amelia and Zach dance slow and kiss. It's not over yet. Nicole picks up the New York Times fashion magazine and sees Amelia on the cover of the magazine. Amelia is not aware of it. Nicole looks at the magazine without revealing the pictures to the audiences. However, she is taken by the pictures. Nicole then puts it down and returns to the party. Vincent asks her to dance. She accepts it. They come to the dance floor and dance next to the bride and the groom. There is no hard feeling. Amelia has invited all of them. They all are having good time. Amelia and Zach kiss and make love at their penthouse in Manhattan. In the morning, Amelia goes to the kitchen to get a Diet Coke. She sees the issue on the counter, opens the pages and looks at steamy pictures of herself in the main article, a star journalist. She smiles in beauty. The end. Emma, that's beautiful. Chris, it's all right. Emma, I like the Messiah walking on the heart. Chris, it was supposed to be the one. But Amelia thought Vincent was the one. Since you play Amelia, I felt I had to convince you Zach is the son of God. She smiles in beauty. They exchange soft kisses. Emma, pay me a compliment. Chris, softly down by her lips, let me believe in beautiful love. And redeem myself with a good deed but seduction. And plunge out all that's weed without destruction. However, you might as well allow me to love thee in vain. You may leave me in the dark as if I were a bad seed. But give the saints permission to say I'm insane. And grant the angels in heaven to call it greed. It's thee that I crave, my flesh and spirit need. And it's for thy lips my heart wants to bleed. Love is a shadow of whisper that's infinitesimal taboo. Tantalizing mist of breeze that's innocent and true. Oscillation thaw on sweltering beam of sweet lips. And evaporates upon the dusk of vestigial luminosity. Sin echoes in the valley of delicate murkiness. Dalliance roams in the void of fleeting disdain. And yields into temptation and irresistible pain. Lust casts in the reminiscence of tenderness. An evanescent light in the mystical colligiosity. Existence is glorified in ephemeral beauty that dies. Yet always stays sempiternal in the hearts. And shine brighter than the stars in the skies. Passion rules in the edge of rapture and insanity. Fever remains only in thy custody. Suffering and pleasure are only metaphors of desire. A heart of infinite grace made for blaze. If such indeed my soul destined for eternal fire. What sin could be as though more enchanting, summery and thermogenic than thee? Raspberry lips, sumptuous cheeks, startling eyes. Angelic face, true mind, innocent heart, sensual body. Did the seraphs in the garden of evermore take my heart and create thee out of my soul? To find thee in the abyss of my ribs. Deep in the marrow of my pelvis as thee gust and stroll. I want to cry, scream and dance. As if it were blues and rock and roll. Beauty, style, character, nothing in heaven or earth has ever created as sexquisite as thee, the fairest them all. Emma smiles in beauty. Chris gives her a soft kiss on the lips. Chris, if no man has ever loved a girl prior to angels above. In thy timeless beauty and crepuscular breeze of rays. No light shall spare my soul, cause I am forever in love. Let the essence in my heart grow wings and fly like a dove. Wherewithal till serendipity expects the unexpected. And passion reveals its secret in my soul in peace. Romance to portrait true love and break my hips. Let the covenant continue to be the light that shaft. From thy beautiful eyes and sexy lips. To kiss as if the flame, yearning, and enthrallment in our spirits have consumed every beat of our hearts piece by piece. And defy French kiss destined only for lovers in Paris. And faith, religions, and mythology written for heroes, heroines, legends, and the gods and goddesses in Greece. Yet, when all is said and done and forevermore, let me love you with the alluring pain deep in my soul and bliss. And adore you more than my heart bleed and deliciously kiss. Emma, that's erotic. They exchange delicious French kisses. Chris, humorously you bring the best in me. Emma, I like love is a shadow of whisper that's infinitesimal taboo. Tantalizing mist of breeze that's innocent and true. Chris, you keep putting pressure on me. You know, I was trying to beat Shakespeare and immortalized you forever. I don't really care if your eyes look like oceans in Pandora or your lips taste the water in Krypton and fly like Supergirl. Just being with you makes me the happiest. They exchange soft kisses. Emma, it's romantic. But that doesn't surpass deep in the marrow of my pelvis as they gust and stroll. Chris, you have no idea what you mean to me. They exchange soft kisses. Emma, you mentioned Only God Forgive earlier. It was directed by Nicholas Winding Refn. Chris, yet. The guy who directed Drive. Emma, I heard he is working on a new film called The Neon Demons. Chris, what is it about? Emma, I have no idea. I think it's about a girl who comes to Los Angeles to pursue modeling, and gets sucked into the game. She then becomes mean to keep rivals off her chest and gain the affection of a fashion mogul. But the girls turns the table around her and eat her organs. Chris, that's sick. Emma, I like his style. The background and cinematography take you somewhere deserted in your heart and perplexing in the subconscious mind like David Lynch. Chris, he is okay. Emma, anyway, what does it mean sexquisite? Chris, sexy and exquisite. Emma, I want you to write me a script under that title of sexquisite. They exchange delicious French kiss. Chris, what kind of story do you want? Emma, I like mystery. Chris, what kind of mystery? Split personality like Psycho. Ghosts that reveal to us in flesh and blood like The Sixth Sense. Or ghosts that live with us in hidden dimension like The Others starring Nicole Kidman. Dreams where everything is played out in state of unconscious mind while you're sleeping like Inception. Is it really a dream? Supernatural thrillers featuring God, Satan, angels, and demons like Constantine starring Keanu Reeves. Schizophrenia when you see things that is not there like Beautiful Mind or just mental illness like Shutter Island. Delusion when your brain plays tricks on you and to lose a grasp of reality or you're dead like Jacob's Ladder or it's a conspiracy theory like Manchurian Candidate. Aliens who live among us without our knowledge like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and the Astronaut Wife. Hallucination when you take a drug that allows you to access 100% of your brain, have out-of-body experience and access extra dimensions or discover hidden worlds within our universe that are filled with beauty, paranoia, chaos, psychosis, and mystery or just parallel universes where time is illusion and the past, the present and the future exist concurrently. I cannot think any movie like that. Maybe if you put Back to the Future, Vertigo, The Terminator, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and 2001, A Space Odyssey together, but that would be a science fiction, or perhaps just murder with a love story. Emma, something erotic, sensual, and S&M. They exchange erotic kisses. Chris, I don't have anything that's S&M. I might have to steal an idea from Original Sin starring Angelina Jolie and Antonio Banderas. The movie is so-so. But it has erotic potential. You know, I like the idea of a woman faking her identity and seducing a man into hot passionate S&M sex. Supposed Louis the protagonist marries Julia played by you. She steals his money under the supervise of her villainous boyfriend Vincent, who taught her all kinds of erotic game, including S&M, BDSM, bandage, etc. And she leaves Louis. Julia is wild. Vincent is the only person who knows how to tame her. He has slaved her heart with sadistic sex. However, Julia has fallen head over heels in love with Louis. She runs away from her sadistic boyfriend and returns back to Louis. Julia does not care if he turns her to authorities. She tells him she's in love with him and asks him to forgive her. Note, if it's convenient, we might see Chris in the male starring role and Emma in the female starring role. Chris, Louis loves her more than life itself and welcomes her back with open heart. They pick up where they left off. They continue to have hot passionate sex day and night. However, Vincent comes to the picture. He wants her back. They had been doing scheme together for a while. Vincent thinks Julia belongs to him. She is his property, sort of high-class prostitute. This audio file was created by Panopreter Basic, you can download it at www.panopreter.com. And he is her pimp, figuratively speaking. But Julia refuses to return to him. Vincent then shows Louis S&M sex video of Julia that she made with him, including cutting her buttock with a knife and masturbating with her blood. It's extremely sadistic, even to look at it. Julia tells Louis that is her past. She is done with Vincent. She is in love with him. Louis has always trusted Julia and needs her like a wild orchid needs water. Yet, they said old habits die hard. Julia seduces Louis to tie her up and spank her in BDSM. She slowly got him involved in S&M sex. Louis enjoys it. He thinks they are just spicing up their sex life. However, later, Vincent tells Julia he will kill Louis if she doesn't return to him. Julia begs him to leave Louis alone. It's not his fault. She cries like a little girl. It has nothing to do with Louis. Vincent takes a pity on Julia and asks her to do one last heist. He wants her to seduce a man named Robert, marry him and steal his money from his safe. Vincent then will let her go free. Julia agrees to do one last scam. She gets up in the morning, writes Louis a letter, "Wait for my love if you adore me." She carries out the plan almost flawlessly till she runs into Louis at a party hosted by Robert at the last minute. However, Louis plays along as if he doesn't know her. Louis has words with Julia privately. She tells him the truth. Vincent threatened her that he would kill Louis if she didn't do it. She is doing it for him. He would have killed her as well. Louis asks her why she didn't go to the police. Julia has a criminal records and doesn't want to go down with Vincent. Louis tells her he will kill Vincent and free her once and for all. But Julia begs him not to kill him. Vincent is her brother. Wait a second. That's a bad idea. I am not really fond of relationship between siblings and incense. I brought it because to separate the film from original sin, and maybe cash on Oldboy, a 2003 South Korean film. A man is held for 15 years without knowing who is behind it. He is then released. His capturer tricks him into sleeping with his daughter in order to extract revenge for something he did in the past. But we are not going down the same path. Instead, Julia tells Louis she owes Vincent a favor. He was her brother by marriage. Vincent's father married Julia's mother. Later, Vincent's father tried to rape her. Vincent shot and killed his own father to save her. They were in love. They ran away together. He then started doing drugs and became abusive. Julia might not be in love with Vincent. But it's different. She loves him as a brother. Julia begs Louis to let her do one last job and returns to him back in peace. Wait a second. Let me go back just a little bit. As a writer, you aren't supposed to hold anything. You have to go all out. Julia tells Louis Vincent indeed is her brother. Her father tried to rape her. Vincent shot and killed him. They ran away together. She fell in love with him. They started incestuous relationship, which escalated into S&M sex. He then controlled her life. Louis tells her not to do it. Not only will Vincent get her in trouble, but the job she is trying to pull is extremely dangerous. Robert might kill her. Instead, Louis promises Julia to give Vincent a priceless diamond necklace that his mother gave him passed from generation. It's worth about $200 million. His mother told him to give the necklace to a girl when he falls in love. Louis thought about giving the necklace to Julia, but he doesn't want to put value on love. She means everything to him. More than the necklace, more than heaven and earth, more than anything in creation, more than the oxygen that he breathes in and the carbon dioxide he exhales out. More than life itself. She thinks that is romantic. They make love all night. Louis gives Julia the necklace, so she could give it to Vincent. They agree to meet at his beach house. Later, Louis waits for her sitting on the sand looking at the ocean wave. Julia doesn't show up. The job is to steal the diamond from Louis in the first place. Louis then finds out Julia and Vincent are not brother and sister. She lied to him. They are lovers. Louis is left heartbroken. Yet he opens the safe and look at the necklace. Louis gave Julia a fake necklace. In the meantime, Julia and Vincent discover the necklace is not real. Later, after things settle down, Louis finds Julia and Vincent at his house. Vincent points his gun at Louis and tells him if he doesn't give him the necklace, he will shoot him. Louis tells him go ahead. Take me out of my misery. I can't live without her. Vincent then threatens to kill Julia. Louis opens the safe and gives Vincent the necklace. Just take it. Don't hurt her. Leave her out of it. Vincent was lying. He wasn't going to shoot her. They kiss in front of Louis. Vincent puts the necklace in his pocket and sets to shoot Louis. That wasn't part of the plan. Regardless, Julia tells Vincent she wants to do it. She seduces Vincent and slowly takes the gun from his hand. Julia points the gun at Louis. She is not going to kill him. She then turns the gun, points it at Vincent and tells him to just take the necklace and leave the house. Vincent mocks her to shoot him. Julia pulls the trigger. There is no bullet in the chamber. Vincent takes out another gun and sets to shoot her. But Louis quickly holds Vincent's hand. They fight for control. Wild shots are fired. Louis finally manages to get the gun out of Vincent's hand. They go at it like two alley cats. Vincent takes out a knife and holds it close to Louis's throat. It's an epic fight. Louis holds Vincent's hand. Julia then picks up the gun, shoots Vincent in the head and saves Louis's life. However, Julia was shot in the stomach during the struggle. There is blood on her belly. She falls in his arm and tells him she loves him. Louis tells her he has always loved her more than the beats of his heart and kisses her lips. Julia dies in his arms. The end. Emma, that is sad. I die in the end. You should open my stomach and pull out of the bullet like Neo in The Matrix or Ryan Gosling in Only God Forgive. I am kidding. But I like the idea Julia and Vincent are brother and sister, not pretends to be. Julia involves in the incestuous relationship with her brother. I want you to correct it. You know, not only Julia and Vincent are lovers. But they are actually brother and sister. I want the audiences to react to it. Let's fuck with their minds. That kind of thing tends to stay in the audience's minds. I am an actress. I get high out of the audience's reaction. Chris, I see what I can do. But I might have to change the ending. I think I used that ending for another film. Instead, or an alternative ending, Louis actually gave her the real necklace. He trusted her. She doesn't show up. Later, one day, Julia returns to his beach house with the necklace. Louis welcomes her back. He tells her she doesn't have to explain to him anything. He loves her the same if not more. He is addicted to her. They make love all night. Later, they sit in the bathtub. Louis places the necklace around her. Julia tells him she has to tell him the truth. In flashback, Julia poisoned and killed Vincent. Louis seems a little bit shocked. But he tells her an act of crime done out of love is not a sin. They kiss French for long seconds. The end. Emma, that sounds romantic. I was fond of necklaces. I still like them once in a while. But I watched Madonna's Material Girl music video when I was 10th grade from the beginning to end. You know, I saw it when I was younger a couple of times. But I ignored a lot of things. However, I was doing a song for drama class. At the beginning of the music, Madonna told her friend a man just gave her a necklace to impress her. Madonna thinks the necklace is a diamond and asks her friend if she wants it. I had that dialogue tattooed in my memory. Every time I look at a necklace I see Daisy and Madonna and Keith Carradine locked in an intimate kiss in a pickup truck while it's raining. It's timeless. Even though Material Girl's supposed to be a woman who is into expensive gifts, some boys tries and some boys lie, I don't let them play, only boys who saves their pennies make my rainy day. It always gets me. Chris, I will write you something else. Emma, I like it a lot. But I have a question. Vincent showed Louis a sex video of Julia where he sliced Julia's buttock and masturbated with her blood. I am not going to ask you where you get the idea. But would you cut my buttock and masturbate with my blood? Chris, not in a million years. I mean it's out of love. I don't want to cut you and leaves any kind of scar on your skin or any place. Emma, what if I don't mind? Chris, I wouldn't do it. Emma, why not? Chris, it's sick. I was trying to beat Nicholas Winding Refn. They say he has weird fetish. Emma, anyhow how does it work? Does he slice her butt, masturbate with her blood and come on the cut? Chris, I have no idea. I might have said it to impress you. I saw Original Sin long time ago. The bad guy played by Thomas Jane cut Angelina Jolie upper back near her shoulder blade with a knife while entering her behind. Emma, say fucking her behind. You don't have to be self-conscious with me. Just keep it real. Chris, okay. Fucking her behind. It stuck in my head. I might have used it on Wire that I wrote starring Angelina Jolie and Jake Gyllenhaal. In the story, Lou cuts Sophia's butt played by Kate Upton. But he doesn't masturbate with her blood. Instead he pours scotch on her wound while fucking her behind. It's sadistic. Emma, it's not as sadistic as masturbating with blood. Chris, maybe. Emma, have you seen Secretary starring Maggie Gyllenhaal? Chris, I saw the trailer. Emma, you should check it out. I have never seen anything like it. You know, it's one of those genre-defining films. Maggie gave one of the best performances of all time. Chris, I will watch it when I get a chance. Emma, anyway, I thought it's kind of erotic, the idea of cutting the buttocks and masturbating with blood. I would have done it in a heartbeat if it weren't for the scars. Seductively, but still I don't mind a little bit scar on my buttocks. Chris, you are crazy. Emma, Vincent not only cuts her buttocks, he also slices her breasts, back and various part of her body. She has all kinds of scars on her skin. You know what? A thought just came to my mind. Vincent has written all kinds of words on her body like the novel Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. It's story about a young journalist, who cuts herself in order to curb her enthusiasm. She is sent home to cover a murder story and finds out her mother and her sister have something to do with the killing. It is Gillian's debut novel. Have you read it? Chris: No, I haven't. I will read it when I get a chance. Emma: I am not going to spoil it for you. It's pretty good. Anyway, you can apply some of the elements to your story. You know, instead of just cutting, I prefer words. However, Julia is not doing it to herself. Vincent is the one who curves words onto her body. They are hateful words. Later, Julia involves with Louis in erotic sex. She asks him to curve romantic words onto her body with a knife. Chris: That's painful. Emma: Just think about it. They kiss French. On the soundtrack, About Her by Malcolm McLaren. Int. Bedroom, night. Chris and Emma make love with About Her. There are a lot of kissing and caressing. Chris caresses her neck. He kisses her belly and gives her oral pleasure. Emma's face goes through all kinds of sexual phases. She pulls his hair as she reaches orgasm. It's sensual. They kiss more intimately. Chris enters her as they continue to make love. Emma gets on top and rides him. He gets her on the bottom and continues to make love to her sweetly. Note: we stay with them for a while as they continue to make love with various sexual positions. Montage: Vanity Fair, The Talented Ms. Ripley photoshoot. Vanity Fair dedicates the entire page for The Talented Ms. Ripley starring Emma Stone. They are telling story through the magazine. It's shot at various location exterior and interior. On the soundtrack, La Foule by Edith Piaf plays. Insert: Emma plays Marta Ripley. She is hired by a billionaire named Richard to talk to his daughter Sarah played by Carrie and bring her back to America from Paris, France. Emma stands with George Clooney who played Richard pretending to be conversing. A professional photographer named Tyler photographed them. Cut to. Insert: later, Marta introduces herself to Sarah and her fiancé, James. Emma introduces herself to Carey Mulligan who plays Sarah and Robert Pattinson who plays James. Tyler continues to photograph them. Note: the actors can be replaced depend on their availability and wanting to play the role. This is just for the photograph. Insert: Marta convincing Sarah that the two met at NYU. Emma and Carey converse. Tyler photographed them. Marta seduces James. Emma and Robert pretend to be talking. Insert: James photographs Marta. Robert photographs Emma. Tyler photographs them. Photographs within photographs. On the soundtrack, Tous les garçons et les filles by Françoise Hardy plays. Insert: Marta has to convince Sarah to return to USA, she copies her style and mannerism. She wears her clothes, puts the same makeup and colors her hair like hers. Garden: Emma and Carey put the same dresses and pretends to be conversing at a garden. Restaurant: Emma and Carey sit at a fancy restaurant and converse. Tyler photographs them. Insert: Marta is getting dangerously closer to Sarah. They dance in the club, kiss. Nightclub: Emma and Carey dance in the club in the middle of extras. Tyler photographed them. Emma and Carey kiss intimately. Tyler continues to photograph them. Insert: they have steamy lesbian sex. Bedroom: Emma and Carey pretend to be make loving. Tyler photographed them. Insert: Sarah asks Marta why she is in Paris copying her style. She tells her Sarah's father paid her to talk to Sarah and convince her to return home. Sarah is not happy about it, refuses to return and tells Marta go back to America and tell her father that she has no intention of returning. Emma and Carey act it out beautifully as Tyler continues to photographs them. Insert: Marta and Sarah come up with a plan to scheme Sarah's father. They send him email that Marta needs more money to convince his daughter to return to the USA. He wires her $100 thousands. They cash it and go to shopping extravaganza. Emma and Carey puts all kinds of beautiful dresses. Tyler photographs them in series cuts. Emma and Carey pretends to buy all kinds of fashion clothes, shoes, sunglasses, and bags. Tyler continues to photograph them. Insert: later, Marta and Sarah come to French Riviera to see Sarah's friend Jessica played by Amanda Seyfried. Carey pretends to be introducing Amanda to Emma. Tyler photographs them together. Insert: Jessica looks down on Marta. She doesn't like it, feel a little bit insulted, gets up and takes a walk in the streets of Cannes alone. Emma takes a walk at the Universal Studio alone. Tyler continues to photographs her. Insert: Sarah follows Marta and tells her Jessica tends to be cruel toward her friends. Jessica is jealous of her. Emma and Carey talk a walk in the street. Tyler photographs them. They then stop and kiss. Tyler continues to photograph them. Insert: Marta and Sarah drive and come to a luxurious villa. Sarah shows her around. Emma and Carey sit in a Vantage convertible. Tyler continues to photograph them. Villa: Emma and Carrie stand outside a beautiful villa conversing. They are wearing a beautiful dress. Tyler continues to photograph them. Villa, interior. Emma sits on a sofa without wearing underwear, slightly, revealing her vagina in seduction. Bedroom, Emma lies on the bed wearing Victoria's Secret linger. Carrie leans next to her. Tyler photographed them. Insert, a young man named Paolo, whom Sarah was having an affair with, killed a man and goes to jail. Sarah and Marta come to visit Paolo at the jail. Prison, Karai talks to a young man who is standing behind bars. Emma stands nearby holding a bar. She is carrying a chain for the sole purpose of the photo. Tyler continues to photograph them. Insert, Marta and Sarah sit in the bathtub. Carrie and Emma sit in the bathtub nude. Carrie is behind. Emma rests on Carrie's chest with close eyes. On the soundtrack, La Vie en Rose by Edith Piaf played. Tyler continues to photograph them. Int. Convertible, moving, sunset. Chris is behind the wheel. Emma is in the passenger seat. On the soundtrack, La Vie en Rose plays. Emma is singing with Edith Piaf. She's not wearing a seat belt. Emma then gets up, sits on his lap and continues to sing La Vie Rose while exchanging soft French kisses with Chris. It's one of the most romantic takes we have ever seen in the history of cinema. Just we think it's not going to get better than that. It begins to rain. Emma kisses him intimately, minding the rain. EXT convertible, moving, sunset. The car is wobbling all over the street. Int. Convertible, sunset. Chris tries to get control of the car while try to put the cover on. It doesn't work. It's broken. He can't help it. EXT convertible sunset. Chris stops the car in the middle of the street, and puts emergency light on. Int. Convertible, sunset. Chris and Emma kiss intimately, while it's raining, as if their lips made of roses. It tops the above scene. Cars passes by them, right and left. On the soundtrack, we continue to hear La Vie en Rose by Edith Piaf. Close up Chris and Emma. They continue to kiss more passionately.